Well, welcome back to another episode of Driving New Zealand Outback. You might remember last week we stayed up at the Macaulay Hut at the top of the Macaulay Valley. And then we came round to the Godley Valley and started up a road past a sign that said Public Road. The Mahindra is crossing another river. Bob comes alongside and out with a towing strap to pull him through. Well, we've battled our way up the Macaulay. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 11 river crossings. The poor old Mahindra isn't locking into the front wheel drive, so that's a bit of a problem. Mind you, it's all meant to challenge us, which is why we're doing this, of course. This Great Wall just hasn't missed a beat. I'm absolutely impressed, and so are the rest of the team. They all think it's pretty good. So what we're going to do now is we'll make our way back to the beginning of this, cross the main river, the Macaulay River, and then head back to Tekapo where we're going to stay the night. Well, the thing about crossing streams and rivers and other water obstacles is that the river flows the way it's flowing, and according to the rules it's best to sort of take your four-wheel drive with the river and get yourself across that way. Sometimes you have no choice. The runners run away and the track's going from left to right and you have to go into the current, but most of the time you can find a way to get with the current, so that's pretty much the rules of river. If you don't know how deep it is, maybe send somebody out, pants up, and walk across, or else send a truck across that's got a bit lifted, it's got a snorkel, and just see how deep it is on that truck. But we're just playing it safe at the moment. We're going to tow the Mahindra across with its engine off so it doesn't get a gulp of water coming through. This is actually quite deep. It's probably about a metre deep, which is quite deep. You'll see how deep the wheels are, and that one, see how deep the wheel went, right up to the top. You could have made it through, but it's better safe than sorry. Well, Bob charged through that one and got through it okay, and sometimes it pays to sort of put a bit of gas into it. And there's the Jeep, same again, no problem at all. Note the Jeep's got a couple of spare tanks and he's running on petrol. And we're on our way back now. That's the turn off you can see way in the distance there, a bit of a clearing in the pine trees. And across the last river, and now we're heading back up across the Macaulay. And as I said in the beginning, the Macaulay is a full river when it's in flow, and it's not just a couple of streams like you see here. So a fair bit of water sort of splashed up there. There's a little bit of a hole there, and you'll see when Ralph goes through. It's not too bad. It's not to the top of the wheels. The Mahindra, and there's Bob again. He likes to sort of throw himself at the river, and so that's the Macaulay River, top of Tekapo. So now we're heading our way back to Tekapo, and it's a long dusty road. I think it's about 20k from Tekapo out to the Macaulay River crossing. So lots of dust, and the road's reasonably wide, so if you meet somebody else coming the opposite way, that's all good. When we got to our accommodation, we found the problem with the Mahindra, and it was just a loose cable at the back of the gearbox. And we've come from Omarama, which is that way. We've had a lovely cup of coffee. And then just out of Marama, heading south, there's a road called Broken Hut Road. And you take that road, it comes all the way to this dock area here. And there's a track through that gate that goes up, very steep. Then across a bit of a plateau, and then it goes down, very, very steep and zigzaggy as well. and there's about 12 river crossings that way. And the other way to go on the other side of the mountain is if we go that way. I'll just wander over here. So if we head down that track, that's the way we're going. That also goes zigzag all the way up and then over a plateau and then comes down, and there's a dock hut on the other side of it where we're going to have lunch. And then after that we cross about 27 river crossings and we come out on the road that eventually takes us to the hotel at St. Bathans. So in for a pretty cruisy sort of a day, I suppose. I don't know what the state of the river crossings are at the moment, or how much there's no gravel on parts of the hill going up, so we might slip and slide a wee bit going up there. But anyway, looking forward to another driving New Zealand Outback adventure. Those hills up ahead look very ominous with that cloud right down the hills, and the hills go further up than that, so we might be climbing around those hills in the mist. You've got to travel along these flats for about 4k, and it's rutted and there's not a great deal of metal, so you probably slip and slide a wee bit if it was raining, but other than that it's a nice little interesting colourful drive to the track that we're about to take up. Well, we've come about 4k from where we turned off to come in here, and it's pretty flat going. And now we're going to go up that hill, and it climbs up probably 1200 metres straight up to the top of that mountain over there. And then we'll climb over that mountain and then we go down the other side. And I think we cross a river at the bottom and we make our way to a dock hut. And that's where we'll have lunch. So it's pretty narrow, pretty steep, so we'll just take it easy and we'll go up there. As you can see, the road is pretty narrow. There's a little bit of metal on it, which means you're not slipping and sliding. And the mist means that the road is damp, and but as you can see, it's very, very narrow. And a bit of a drop off onto the right hand side, but there are a little few ruts up there that we had to negotiate. But we've reached the top, Broken Hill Road 10k, Top Hut 2k, so it's 2k down this hill to the dock up at the bottom. So we've enjoyed what we can see at the top, and now it's time to wend our way 2k down to the hut below. So I'm going to explain how you attack steep hills. I've got this truck in manual second gear. So coming down a steep hill like this, you can actually drive it down rather than sit on the brake. You're not wearing the brakes out. And if you do have an auto, sometimes coming down these hills, it pays to sort of have your foot on the brake and the accelerator, so which sort of controls your wheels a bit better. But just being in manual second gear seems to be doing us alright. No need to put it on the brake. It says on the dashboard M2, four-wheel drive. We're in low four-wheel drive. Got a hairpin bend coming up just over there, so sometimes if you get into a really sharp hairpin bend going down a steep hill, you've sort of got to do a three-way go at it. So you drive up into where they bulldoze all the extra dirt and back up, and so you're pointing down the hill and off you go again. But if you get something like that, I'll just show you how to do that. She's a bit gnarly, with all this rock bouncing around. The only good thing about it, I suppose, is the slope isn't so far if you sort of get caught out and roll down the hill, which you certainly don't want to do. We've got a bit of a hairpin bend right in front of us here, so we should be able to make it around that okay. Yep, got a good lock of this old Great Wall, which is always handy. And if you poke your head out the other side, you see the others coming. Here they are, way up there. With me is Tim Elliott from Kepler Motors in Hamilton, and good on you, Tim.
See you.
Maybe tell us a little bit about the vehicles you sell.
Right, well, we've got an absolutely amazing range from the GWM Haval product lineup. We start with a small SUV with the Jolian, and we start from that at $27,990 plus on-road costs. We then go through that range. We have 3 models in the Jolian range. We then go into the H6, which is the next size up, your mid-size SUV, and that we actually have 5 models in that range.
Wow.
Yeah, starting from $33,990.
Yeah.
So when you look at the value for money in our range, and we even have right through to a hybrid like our new car behind me here. As well as the SUVs, we have a stunning lineup of the GWM Cannon, which is New Zealand Autocar Magazine's Ute of the Year for 2020.
Wow.
Not only has it come up Ute of the Year because of its build quality, ride quality and safety, now 5-star safety rating in 2021, it is an absolutely amazing package. You don't get the harsh ride that you traditionally get in a ute, but you get all the safety and benefit of having 3-ton towing capacity, up to a ton payload in the back, but also room for your guests in the back of the vehicle if you're taking a few along with you.
With a bit of legroom.
With a bit of legroom and vents in the back so they have actually get a bit of fresh air as well.
Oh, that's marvellous. Get hold of Tim and I'm sure he'll look after you.
Look forward to hearing from you.
Capital Tyres in the CBD of Hamilton. We have been servicing the Hamilton and Greater Waikato since 1979. We're not a franchise. Capital Tyres is a family-owned and operated business situated in the CBD of Hamilton. Please feel free to look through our tyre and tyre maintenance services online, or even better still, come and visit our friendly and experienced team today. Check out our webpage at www.capitaltyres.co.nz or call us on 07 839 4115. That's 07 839 4115. Before we headed out on this four-wheel drive trek, it was decided to fit a nudge bar on the front of the Kepler GWN Cannon. Aliark from Whanganui were the people who made it and fitted it, and what a great job, and just as well we did. It certainly protected the front of the Cannon. So I've no hesitation in recommending Aliark for your nudge bar or bull bar, so check them out at aliark.co.nz or email them at info@aliark.co.nz or call them 0800 4 bull bars. That's 0800 4 bull bars. Coming down this hill, and even though it's starting to level out a wee bit, it always pays just to stay in the gear that you started with until it's safe to come out of that gear and move into the next one. The other trucks are coming down, and you can see how steep that is, and into this corner, and the old Mahindra is making its way. We fixed the front wheel drive, and so it's all tickety-boo to carry on four-wheel driving, and it was just a little clip that had come undone behind the gearbox. No big drama at all. But there's the hut, and there's a river we have to cross to get to the hut, and the track carries on off to the left, and there's about 27 rivers to cross, similar to this one, as we travel. But when you're in the river, you don't know how big the rocks are. You can see one sticking out of the water there. I think we're going to run over it. Yes, we do. Bang. And so you can get jostled about as you cross these little rivers. Plenty of rocks and what have you. But you've really got to just take it easy and enjoy the ride, I suppose. But anyway, we've reached the hut, and everybody's going to enjoy a spot of lunch. Well, we're all safely ensconced in this dock hut, and going to enjoy a nice cup of tea and a sandwich for lunch. Beautiful. Should you decide to do this Broken Hut Road track, we'd recommend that you don't do it by yourself. We'd recommend at least 2 mid-sized 4-wheel drives, and if it's been raining, perhaps 3. Reason? If you get stuck, you've got a mate to pull you out. If there's a group of you, like we are, then it's a lot more fun as you travel. The road from where we had lunch is continuously wending its way slowly downhill. It travels with the stream, which is the reason why we're in and out of the stream so many times. And if the stream is up, it can be dangerous. So if you can, check the state of the stream before you go. So if it's been raining for 3 or 4 days prior to you going across this road, then it probably will be just that fraction dangerous, with the river being slightly higher. But when you get over there, it's easy enough to check, and of course it's easy enough just to turn around and go back, no harm done. So there you go, that's the Broken Hut Road. Now if you've got a 4-wheel drive, what we recommend you have in it is a tow strap, 2 shackles, and you buy these from a 4-wheel drive shop like Iron Man, someplace like that. And so you get a tow strap and 2 shackles so you can connect yourself to the truck that's pulling you out. We also recommend you can take a torch. If the night time comes, you need to sort of see where you're going, or if something's happened to the truck, you need to be able to see around your truck, so a torch is very handy. Mind you, if you're doing the 4-wheel driving in the summer in the South Island, it stays light up until about 10 o'clock, so you've got plenty of time really to sort yourself out and get out of wherever you are. There's no phone service in this area, so what we recommend and what we always try and do is take a satellite phone. You can rent a satellite phone. I think it's about $30 for a week or something like that. You don't have to use it because it's so much per call, but it does give you peace of mind, and that something happens and you need to get hold of somebody to come and help you or get you out, or somebody's crook in some way. Having a satellite phone means you can get hold of whoever and they can send help. As I said, you don't have to use it because it's actually quite expensive, but it is your little backup. We also take a little chili bin full of food. We take a cooker, a knife, fork, spoon, cups and plates and things like that. And it's a lot of fun because everybody's bought a bit of food and you can plonk it all on the table and have a bit of a feast. Yeah, I really enjoy the 4-wheel drive cook-ups as we go along. Because there's so many huts, you can actually stay in dock huts as you travel. We normally take tents and we set up camp here and there as we travel. And every second day, because we've got ladies, we try and stay in a motel. So it's camping a night, in a motel a night, and so on and so on. Coming up now is the next hut along this line, which is 9k further along from the one where we had lunch, and it's taken us about an hour, I suppose, to an hour and a bit to go 7k. But we'll stop here and have afternoon tea. What a great idea. But if you're coming up from the other end, there's plenty of a good accommodation in this hut. We've stayed here a few times and really enjoyed it. So I think there's eight beds in this hut and 8 in the other one. Somewhere to eat and somewhere to sleep, and there's a good dunny out the back. All you need for a good four-wheel drive track. Boundary Creek Hut. There it is. And there's the dunny, and it's got a nice little thing to stop the smell. Little windows there. With me is Tim Elliott from Kepler Motors in Hamilton, and good on you, Tim. Maybe tell us a little bit about the vehicles you sell.
Right, well, we've got an absolutely amazing range from the GWM Haval product lineup. We start with a small SUV with the Jolian, and we start from that at $27,990 plus on-road costs. We then go through that range. We have 3 models in the Jolian range. We then go into the H6, which is the next size up, your mid-size SUV, and that we actually have 5 models in that range.
Wow.
Yeah, starting from $33,990.
Yeah.
So when you look at the value for money in our range, and we even have right through to a hybrid, like our new car behind me here. As well as the SUVs, we have a stunning lineup of the GWM Cannon, which is New Zealand Autocar Magazine's Ute of the Year for 2020.
Wow.
Not only has it come up Ute of the Year because of its build quality, ride quality and safety, now 5-star safety rating in 2021, it is an absolutely amazing package. You don't get the harsh ride that you traditionally get in a ute, but you get all the safety and benefit of having 3-ton towing capacity, up to a ton payload in the back, but also room for your guests in the back of the vehicle if you're taking a few along with you.
With a bit of legroom.
With a bit of legroom and vents in the back, so they have actually get a bit of fresh air as well.
Well, that's marvellous. Get hold of Tim, and I'm sure he'll look after you.
Look forward to hearing from you.
Before we headed out on this four-wheel drive trek, it was decided to fit a nudge bar on the front of the Kepler GWN Cannon. Aliark from Whanganui were the people who made it and fitted it, and what a great job, and just as well we did. It certainly protected the front of the Cannon. So I've no hesitation in recommending Aliark for your nudge bar or bull bar, so check them out at aliark.co.nz or email them at info@aliark.co.nz or call them 0800 4 bull bars. That's 0800 4 bull bars. So from start to finish with this track, we come in, it was about 10 o'clock when we arrived, we had lunch, and now we've come out this far. The end of the road isn't all that far away, a couple of more rivers to cross, and we'll be out at the end. So it's a nice track, a challenging track. It's got lovely views, and if you like getting in the water, well, it's certainly got plenty of that. So we do this every year in the South Island mainly, and if you'd like to join us, then my email is billhohefer@extra.co.nz, and so if you send me an email, I'll send you the details on how you can come along with us and enjoy driving New Zealand Outback. So the end of this road is just up the road now, we haven't got far to go. Everybody's thoroughly enjoyed it, and so have I. But the rocky terrain is amazing, and the views are amazing, and everything about this track is just a lovely four-wheel drive. You can't get into too much trouble sort of a track. So I'll have a chat to you when we get there. Well, we've reached the end of what I call the Omarama to St Bathans track, and we've just come out of the valley on this side, and if you go up that valley there, you come out on the other side down the steep hill and back to where we started. So we've gone off to the right, and if you take that one, it brings you back down to the left hand side, so you can do a great big loop. It's about 60k give or take, and pretty exciting. So that way is St Bathans, and so that's our next port of call, St Bathans. To come out of this place and head towards St Bathans, you're heading down Hawkdun Runs Road. and you'll come to a T section which is St Bathans Loop Road. You turn right and then follow the road right around and you'll end up in St Bathans. Well, we've reached our destination. This is the little town of St Bathans. It's an Irish gold mining town back in the day, and probably about 10k down the road is a Welsh mining town. Just that's interesting. Wales and Ireland. But this is the famous Vulcan Hotel, and they tell me that room 1 is haunted. I don't know why or how or who or what, but anyway, room 1's haunted in the old Vulcan Hotel. So it would be rude not to pass by this hotel without having a drink. So if you'd like to join us on one of our trips, we're doing this again in January 2023. There's my email address. Send me an email and we'll send you all the details, and we look forward to seeing you. So we'll see you all again next week in another driving New Zealand Outback adventure. Next week on Driving New Zealand Outback, we go up the Old Dunstan Road. And the Old Dunstan Road is east of Alexandra and takes us up into the hills and up behind Alexandra. And it's spectacular. The rock formations up there change into birds and lizards and all sorts of different shapes, and very Lord of the Ringsy. So we enjoy ourselves up there. We're having a look at the Poolburn Lake and a well-deserved break. Then after that we head off east towards the gate, up the road a wee bit, and we hang a right and we make our way towards the oldest church in New Zealand, built about 1860 give or take, and it was to accommodate the gold miners that were up here at the time. And the minister would come from Dunedin on his horse and cart and berate everybody when he got there for drinking in the old church. So it's an interesting place. It's a reasonable place to get there. We've been here many times before, and in dry conditions, wet conditions, and in freezing cold conditions. It certainly gets cold up here. And then in the second half of next week's show, we've got a trip that we did at Whangamomina, and we travelled down the Whangamomina Road to a place called the Bridge to Somewhere. Thing is, we've got 6 or 7 other GWM utes coming along with us, and some have got good tyres, most have got road tyres, and we're going to see just how good the GWM really is. So we'll see you all again next week.